won 12-3 last night. It was close for a while, but not long enough, I don't think. We're hoping for a better game here tonight, and we'll see how it develops. Certainly, no doubt who the better team is. The Cubs are much more talented and a better hockey club, but Valley East, you never know. Stranger things have happened in this game of hockey, Jim.
Yes, we're looking for a little better game tonight, Chad.
Here's Hodges for the Consbeck, moving it to center, dumps it in. Chad Marshall getting the start again tonight for the Cubs, and Norm Denny will get the start tonight for Valley East. Nicholas Leash started last night. They switched goalies about 3 times in that game. There's a centering pass, doesn't get there. Andy Burnham behind the net now in the Valley East zone, twisting along the boards. Bourget centered it right through the crease. Major moves up and fires it, and Denny snags it and hangs on for a face-off. So the Cubs, right off the bat, in with the attack going, Jim.
Well, I noticed that, and I also noticed that the Valley East team were backing up into their own end, leaving the Liskeard point men open. If they do that all night, it's going to be a long night.
And the only scratch for Valley East tonight is number 19, Chris Barron. He broke his finger in last night's game. The Cubs, everybody's there, and that's including Sean Scott, who made his return last night after a long absence with the injury. There's a wraparound attempt there by Dave Brown, and Denny stops that. Here's Scott Holmes dumping it down into the Cubs zone. Joyelle off the boards to center. Luke Joyelle, named the top defenseman in the Great North Midget Hockey League this year, and we congratulate him. Holmes for Valley. Chops it to center, right onto the stick of Brevard. Joyelle can't corral it. Just comes out over the line. Craig Brown took a heavy hit right in front of the Cubs players bench. And here's Joyelle again, over to Rivard. Denemy couldn't corral it. Here's Sean Scott. Shot blocked by Hodges. Loach in there trying to dig it free. And the Consbeck will get it to center, but Krieger right on the puck again. Now here's Holmes back there, Hodges back the other way. Long drive, easy glove save for Marshall. Zubik takes it in the corner. Lays it into the middle to Scott. He's bumped. Krieger chasing it down against Hodges. They go to the corner. Loach moves in there, and it's just cleared to center. No score. First couple of minutes here of period 1. Here's Marty Loach. Oh, and that got past Denny, but somehow stayed out. Hit the inside of his skate, I guess, and went the other way. There's a centering pass, and Scott couldn't get a stick on that one. Cubs doing a good job down low around that Valley East net. Here's Scott, scores!
Well, that's the first goal for tonight, Jack. 17:28 left here in the first period. The Cubs do take the 1-0 lead, and Valley East came out in the game. They went into the Liskeard end, forechecked fairly well, but when they go back into their own end, they seem to bunch up around the goaltender, and certainly the Cub team will get a lot of scoring chances.
Yeah, I just happened to mention before that they were getting a lot of chances down low, and then that was certainly about 10 feet out in that area where they like to move the puck around, and Scott snapped it home. So an early lead for the Cubs in this one. And that could spell trouble for Valley East again here tonight. Because once the Cubs get up on you, they can kill you. They've got a lot of people who can score goals. Julian Cote behind his own net. That puck off the boards, loose in the Cubs zone. Kept in there by Carrier. Here's Cote with Burnham. Centering pass. Loach getting the assist on the goal by Sean Scott, 3:32. Long shot dumped in on goal, stopped by Marshall. Phil LaValle for the Consbeck just gets rid of it to center. Cote dumping it back in. Denny out to play it. LaValle just rifles it around the boards all the way out to center. Cote and the Cubs, Rivard has it now. He gets rid of it to center. LaValle shoots it to the line, but not out. Dave Brown kept it from going anywhere. Holmes plays it off Rivard's chest. He backpedals in his own zone, right through the slot area, and fires it out to center. Here's Dave Brown chasing the loose puck. And he fanned on the shot as he was going into the back, and now right in front. And Craig Brown shot it wide of the net with the Denny down. Craig Brown now plays it behind the net to brother Dave, comes back in front. Denemy in the slot, and he fired it high over top the net. And it's chopped at by Crisp, up and out of play. 1-0 Cubs, 15:35 to go in the first, and so far the offense has all been down in the Valley East zone, Jim.
Well, it sure has, and the shots on goal are 6-2 in favor of the Cubs. And the Cubs look pretty loose out there tonight, Jack. They don't look overconfident. They look like they're going out there to have some fun tonight. And unfortunately for Valley East, I think the Cubs are here to play.
They sure are, and as we mentioned off the top, Claude Denemy a little worried about overconfidence. I don't see any of that in this one. And they're certainly not sluggish like they were last night for a while. Here's number 20 for Valley, Eric LeMay, trying to get away at center, but Krieger right on that puck. As soon as Valley East touches the puck, Jim, the Cubs seem to be right there, right on top of them, and they can't do anything at all offensively.
Well, they're just like hornets around the honey jar.
Here's Krieger. Joyal now moves up and gets into the offense. Now he'll peel back to the blue line. Big number 77 in there is Luke Fram for Valley. He gives it up. Sean Scott again at the side of the net, trying to jam it in again. Puck's underneath some play. Now it goes in, and it will be a goal. And I don't know who put that in, Jim. Was it Scott who finally got a stick on that? But
I didn't get the goal scorer. I was too busy marking down the shots. Well, there was about 3 or 4 chances there.
They were whacking away at it, but I don't. But it's going to count.
Well, it's early in the game. That's 2-0. And one thing that's evident, and I noticed last night as well, Sean Scott back in the lineup, and he's not shying away from the hits or the corners, and he's in there to play.
He sure is. So it's 2-0 Cubs. We'll get you the official announcement on that one. There's about 3 guys that could have scored that, I guess.
For sure, and I noticed Valley East coming back to the center ice area rather slow. They seem to be dejected at this point already.
The Cubs on fire right off the bat here tonight. Go. Sean Scott opened the scoring. 3:32. Luke Joyal at a couple of minutes later at 5:32. And that's where we stand. As Zafiris drops it to Pourgette. Right on. Denny kicks it away. Zafiris again. Gets it back to the blue line. Nobody was home, and it goes all the way back down the ice. Marshall will come out to play it as Valley East changes on the fly. Cubs changing as well. Now here's Holmes stealing right in. Shot. And a nice save by Marshall. Bit of a giveaway there in the Cubs zone, and Holmes got a good scoring chance, but Marshall, as he has all year, makes that save when they really need him to make it. And we get an offside call. He doesn't get many shots in a lot of games, but when he's tested, he seems to be ready to play all the time.
He certainly stays in the game, and as we mentioned earlier on the show, Jack, the Liskeard defense, if they're hurried in their own end, they will cough up the puck, and I think that's something that you have to watch for as you get playing better and better as the series goes on.
Denemy, Brown, and Brown on the ice. Craig and Dave for the Cubs. Shot back into the Cubs. Oh, it took a funny bounce off the boards, and Marshall catches it and drops it behind the net for Major. Craig Major up the middle, gets by everybody. Grabbed there by number 22, Eric Thabert, and he dumps it back in. There's Major to Denemy. Penalty coming up here, and that's going to go to Valley East. As Major sets up, Marshall trying to get to the bench. He runs into Ryan Crisp, but here they come now, and the extra man on the ice, delayed penalty coming to Valley. Sean Denemy circles the net. Oh, and right through the crease out the other side. Almost had one there. Cubs still in control, though, with the delayed penalty call. Here's a shot from the blue line, and Major was pinched up and failed to deflect it. And finally, it's touched by Valley East player. Interference, the call coming to Valley East.
It is an interference call, and that's something Valley East don't need at this point in time, is to play short-handed. The Cub team is really, really skating out there, and they could bury Valley East here in the first period.
They sure could. They got to be careful. And we sure wouldn't want to see that now, would we?
Well, I'd like to see a good hockey game. I'd like to see Valley East come back a little bit. Of course, we'd like to see the local team win, but it's 10-1, 12-1. They're not good hockey games to watch.
That's for sure, and not great games to broadcast. We run out of things to talk about when it gets out of hand too early. We'll have to get MacArthur down from Kirkland here to fill in some time. Him and Larry Paymont together there. Maybe they could take us the rest of the way.
Yeah, well, I understand Larry does owe Mike a little bit of money from some hockey comments and hockey tips that they had a while ago.
I see. Okay. There's a shot. It comes on the power play that deflects in on Denny. He makes the save. Sean Scott now picks it up in the corner. Krieger has it go off his stick, comes right in front, puck's loose. They bang away at it, and Denny goes down and hangs on, and another shot on goal for the Cubs.
Sure is, and they've run up 13 shots in goal at this point in time to Valley East 3, and that's in the first 8 minutes of the first period.
Yeah, 12 minutes even left here in period 1. And Jason Frechette out there now with Burnham, Zafiris, John Smith, and Zubik on the points for the Cubs. Minute 18 left in this Cub power play. They lead it 2-0. Here's Zafiris in the slot, circles. Now Sean Smith fires it. Oh, that just missed. And it's cleared out and down the ice. Change on that second goal. Sean Scott gets it as well, so he has 2 now in the game. So nice return for Sean Scott. Here's Forget now as the Cubs work this power play. There's the shot, and he drifted the wrist shot high and wide to the stick side of Denny in the Valley East goal. Zafiris having a little trouble corralling that puck. Now Burnham along the boards, gets it back to the point to Zubik. There's the shot, hits a skate. Forget trying to center it. He's bumped off the puck. Burnham back to the blue line again to Zubik, and Zubik has trouble with it. He falls trying to get it underneath the body, and it slid out to center. 7 seconds left in this Cub power play. They'll have to hurry here to get another chance with the man advantage, and here's Zafiris right on, and Denny stops it and hangs on, and the penalty to Valley East is now over. So the Cubs came close, but Valley East weathered that storm.
As strange as it may sound, I think Valley East played as well short-handed as they did at full strength, Jack, and maybe that'll give them a little incentive to get back into this game.
Denemy out there now with the Brown brothers, and Cote and Major as they change things up. Valley East changing as well. Jumping on the ice now is Joey Roy. Ryan Crisp against Denemy on the face-off to the right of Denny. Valley East wins the draw. Out they come, but a nice play by Cote as he stood up at the line and broke up that play. Had he missed it, though, I think Valley would have had themselves a 2-on-1. Here's Denemy, back the other way. Little dipsy-doodle move. Tried to play the give and go with Craig Brown. That just failed to click. Behind the net now, Craig Brown in the Valley East zone. Plays it off the boards, tries to come out with it. Roy for Valley now, into the middle for number 9, Brendan Legg. He couldn't get the pass. Terrian just gets rid of it. Shot into the Cubs zone. Cote knocks it down. Goes, or starts to go behind the net, then throws it back the other way. Now he gets it. Major. Valley East just playing this game like they're killing a penalty all the time. They just peel back. Here's Denemy now on the attack again. Sean Denemy tees one up, scores! What a blast that was.
Dandy shot by Sean Denemy. He cut through the center ice area, and I think the goaltender was screened a touch on it, but I don't think he'd have made that save anyway. That makes it 3-0. We've got 9:39 left here in the first period.
So we could be in for a long night here at the OK Corral.
Well, if you're going to compare it to last night's game, last night at this point in time it was a 0-0 hockey game, and Valley East were sort of holding the Cubs down. Tonight they're not. The Liskeard players are skating very well.
They sure are, and Denny was flying on that play. He did it all by himself. Back in the Valley zone it goes again. And Marty Loach almost steals it there. Now here's Fram. Number 77 for Valley. Dumps a long bouncing shot in wide of the Cub goal. Rivard picks it up behind the net. And again, Valley East just peels right off. They don't seem to want to put any pressure on the Cubs here for some reason. Joyelle round behind the net to Rivard. He just goes in behind the net. 8:59 to go here in the period, and we have a penalty coming up here.
Well, we picked up a Liskeard penalty here, and it's on Loach. Actually, it looks like Valley East have put a man on Marty Loach, and they were playing him man-to-man coverage, and he took exception to that and picked up the penalty. So that may have Valley East at this point.
Well, let's see if they can get something going up. And now we have a goaltending change too, by the way. Norm Denny is out and Nicholas Leach is in. So they did this last night a couple times. I think we'll see it a few times tonight here, the way this game's going. But this kid played well last night, I thought. He made some tremendous saves there early in the game.
I don't think the Valley East goaltending was the problem last night.
So the Consbeck on the power play as the puck is down in their zone where it's been most of this period. Now a steal by Krieger, and he almost had a shorthanded goal, and back comes Valley to center. Corno dumps it into the corner. Goes after it against Rivard. Holmes in there to help out. And we're going to get a whistle here. Oh, no, I guess we won't. Krieger steals it away, and it's cleared out off a skate out over the line. Hodges to Holmes in over the line. Joyelle takes it away, rifles it around the boards, out and down the ice. Leash comes out to play it. A minute and 3 seconds left in this Valley East power play, and they haven't really had anything going yet in it. Here's Hodges. Crisp trying to get around his man. Smith stays right with him and takes him off the puck. Brendan Legg knocked down. Here's Legg again. Quick shot. Nice save by Marshall. Zafiris is there to pick up the rebound. Clears it off the boards and down the ice. Leash comes out to play it with Forget. Oh, and Leash cleared it up and out of play. And
we're going to get a penalty here on the goaltender by the look of the signal from the referee.
That's just an automatic. Yeah, that's the rule.
29 seconds left in the power play, and looks like Valley East have got themselves in a hole again.
And you know, that's one rule I think that they should change. Everybody else on the ice service can flip it in the crowd when they're in trouble except the goalie. Don't you think that's kind of ridiculous?
Well, it probably is, and in tonight's game, you might want to see a lot more of that.
Yeah, you got a point there. So, in 29 seconds, Valley East will be shorthanded. With 7:26 to go, they trail 3-0. Sean Scott with 2 and Sean Denemy with the single here in the first period for the Cubs. And Valley East being badly outshot in this period, I can tell you.
They sure are. I've got the shots on goal at 15-4 in favor of the Cubs.
So somehow, some way, if Valley East is going to make a game of this, they've got to get some offense going here. But the Cubs are all over them, just out-skating them and out-hustling them at every point. And here they are again, trying to come out of their own zone. The Cubs are just using their speed and bumping them off the puck. Here's Forget. Tried to center it. Forget again. Turning. Cubs on the power play now. Carriere takes it away momentarily, but couldn't get it out, and now they'll get it out, and here's Ryan Crisp one-on-one against Code. Dipsy doodling his way through and doesn't make it, and here comes Major back the other way for the Cubs. 59 seconds left in this Cub power play. Major rifles it in. Around the boards it goes. Corno's there at the line, comes out. Now Brown bringing it back in. Craig Brown kicks it into the corner to Sean Denemy behind the net. Denemy looking in front. Now Denemy passes it to Craig Brown right through the crease, and it's sitting there. Now it comes back to Major. Here comes the shot, tipped in front, and it's taken away. And the Consbeck get it out. Holmes, lead pass for Corno, just out of his reach. Corno slammed in on the boards by Major. He takes it behind the net, Major does, and slowly skates it to center. Now he'll dump it in. Knocked down. It's in the slot area. Here's Major going for a loose puck. Now Denemy tees one up from the blue line, right on. And Brown couldn't get a stick on it. Dave Brown gets up and puts it right through the crease again. Cubs all over Valley East at this point. Here's Fram now trying to get out with it. And finally they get it out to center. Eric LeMay back the other way with it. LeMay right on. Marshall, easy glove save, and he hangs on. 5:09 to go here in the first. The Cubs have a 3-0 lead. And I should let everybody know in my first intermission, I'll speak with the manager of the Cubs, team president Don Shepardson. We'll be up to talk about a few things, the league in general, the season the Cubs have had, the awards that they've been awarded yesterday from the Great North Midget Hockey League. It's been a banner year, and he's been around for a long time with this team. Don Shepardson has, Jim.
Well, he sure has. He deserves a lot of credit. And one thing about Don, he's certainly dedicated to the team and dedicated to hockey in this town.
He sure is. And I don't think anybody had a bigger smile a couple weeks ago than he did when they won the regular season championship.
Well, that's for sure, and we have to congratulate him on that. But Jack, they've got a long way to go, and the season will be a good win for the Cubs, but it won't be a big win unless they go somewhere in the playoffs.
You got it. Yeah, lots is expected of this team by a lot of people, including the coaching staff and the players themselves. Puck in on goal again. Leash has to make a save, so there's another shot on goal.
Both teams at full strength here, Jack, and I don't want to belittle the fact that the Cubs did win the league. They had a tremendous year, and I know from watching over the years, I heard so many times people say you can't compete with the teams on the Highway 17 corridor, you can't compete with CAP. They did compete, but in the fans' mind, they want to see them go a little bit further this year. I think they got a team that can do it this year.
Yeah, and you're right. I don't think in our lifetime we ever expected to see them win the league championship, but they've done it. And hey, you know what? They could be just as good next year if they don't lose that many players.
That's right.
4:25 left in the first. They lead 3-0, and here they come again on the attack. Krieger slides it to Scott right in front, and it's cleared away. Sean Scott going for the hat trick here in the first period. Joel chasing it down in his own zone, behind the net with it. Puts on the brakes. Safiris, Forget out there now. And here they come again. Forget speeding his way to center. Stolen at the line, and back comes Chris for Valley East, turning on the speed. Backhand shot right in front. Rebound. Marshall trying to corral it. He can't grab it, and it's cleared into the corner. So a little bit of offense shown there by number 7, Ryan Crisp. He's in there forechecking. Burnham. That shot off the blocker of Marshall. I think Sharon Peterson thought it was going to hit her in the head there. She ducked behind the glass. LaValle pinned to the boards in his own zone in the corner, so we'll have another face-off in the Valley East zone as we get a little bit of pushing and shoving after the whistle.
Well, we're bound to get a little bit of that in the corners, Jack, and there's been some good hits here tonight. There's been a couple good hits. There's been clean hits. We haven't seen a lot in the way of the penalty department. Last night's game, it looked like in the last 10 or 15 minutes like the game could get quite chippy, and we were a little concerned about what was going to happen here tonight, but you can't think about that. The Cub team has to think about what they have to do, how they have to play, and not worry about what the opposition plays like.
You got it. Play their game, and I think they'll be just fine in almost any series they play.
Well, that's what they have to do, and the other thing I'd like to say is that this Cub team is a fairly smart hockey team. They move the puck around well, they look around, and I think they're pretty well disciplined too.
Oh, they sure are. There's no doubt about that. I don't remember too many games this year where they've taken foolish penalties, and I think if they have, they were told about it pretty quick and didn't do it again. There's a weak shot that almost gets by the goaltender. Sort of a change-up on him there, but he managed to recover and hang on.
Well, one thing I have noticed, Jack, the score is 3-0. And I was looking at the points that the individual players had throughout the year, and it's evident by the flow of this game. You just have to look at the point totals.
Oh, there's no doubt. As we said last night, I think the Cubs had 6 people in the top 20 scoring in the league, and Valley East didn't have any. And that's basically the problem for Valley. They just don't have any offense at all to score goals. It's one thing to play defense all night, but if you can't score any goals, you're not going to win.
Well, you're certainly right, and if you don't score a lot of goals, then you have to shut down the other team. And if you can't shut down the other team, then you're in a lot of trouble. And
it's pretty tough to shut down this Cub team. I don't. Well, they were shut out once this year by North Bay. The game that was played here, and that was a heck of a hockey game.
Yes, it was. You know, and standing in the peanut gallery there on Friday nights, every time North Bay's in town, everybody's looking for a great hockey. Oh yeah. Well, I said
about halfway through the year to Al Willard on one of our Cable 12 broadcasts that wouldn't it be nice to see the Cubs and North Bay in a 7-game series.
Yeah, it sure would.
But I'll settle for a 5.
It'll be old-time hockey.
Yeah, it sure would. Here's Denemy from the face-off. Greg Brown in front to Dave Brown trying to get in there. Oh, and he deked the goaltender, but it rolled away from him. There's a centering pass. Greg Brown takes a whack at it, and Lee stops it. Now it comes into the slot area again, but it's tipped out. And trying to break away there is Brendan Legg, but he's cut off quickly by Denemy and Smith, who got back to break that up. Valley's player sent flying in the Cubs zone. Cubs will change here now as it's dumped into the Valley zone and taken behind the net by Matthew Hodges. 2 minutes and 16 seconds to go in the first period. 3-0 Cubs. Major. Holmes keeps it in, centered it, and cut off. Roy tried to steal it, but Cubs get it out again. Back into the Valley zone it goes with 1:51 to go in the first period. Here's Hodges for Valley East into the Cubs zone. Cody cuts him off. Now Sean Scott checks his man, and a penalty coming up here. I think Marty Loach, Jim, is going to get a cross-checking call or an interference call or something.
Well, it looks like interference. The signal is up, and it's 1:35 left here in the first period. If Valley East had happened to stop a goal here, they'd come out of this period 3-1, which wouldn't be all that bad.
No, considering they've been outshot about 20-6, 7.
Yeah, I've got 19-7.
That's yeah.
There were some very, very good shots that went wide of the net that could just as easily have been on the net. So I think if Valley East comes out of this period 3-0 or 3-1, I think we have to be satisfied.
And you're a lot more forgiving than Alvin Willard. You know, I think you gave Valley a couple just to make them feel good. He wouldn't do that. He's cold-hearted. He's tough.
If they hit the equipment, I'm going to give them a shot on goal.
So Valley East on the power play with 1:19 to go here in the first period. And they come on the attack. Hodges in over the line. He takes Rivard in heavily from behind into the boards. There's a shot from the point. That's up and out of play. So that should come outside the line. With 1:07 to go in the period and 1:32 in the penalty to Marty Loach.
Well, Valley East are getting the odd shot, but they're certainly not getting any scoring chances with 2 or 3 players in there. It's usually one player. Cubs are coming back very well, and if this pattern continues, they're going to run the score up a little higher.
So the face-off outside the Cub blue line. Bourget in on the draw against Luc Messier. Valley East wins it. They'll dump it into the Cubs zone. Around behind the net. Marshall comes out, stops it for Zubik. Around the boards to Safiris. Comes to the line, kept in there by Hodges. Hodges again with Safiris forechecking him. Luc Messier takes a shot. Nice save by Marshall. Kicks it out, and it's tipped. And here's Safiris. He just rags that puck in over the line, makes a couple of moves, walks right in there, and just failed to get by the Valley East defenseman. Now back come the Valley East with it. Number 9 is Legg. He takes a shot off Sean Smith's stick. Zubik behind the net. Corno bumps Zubik. 23 seconds to go in the period. Cubs get it out and down the ice. Leash will play it. And here they come. There's a lead pass. Crisp. Quick shot. Code picks it up behind the net. Now he'll get it off the glass and down the ice, and that will do it for the first period. With just 2 seconds now left on the clock, so the Val East Consbeck will begin period 2 with a 25-second power play. What were the final shots in that period, Jim?
Final shots on goal that I have are 19-9.
Okay, and it's a 3-0 Cubs after 1. So for you people on Cable 12, we'll tell you we'll be right back after this break. And for all you people listening on radio, we'll be back with Don Shepardson live in our first intermission right after these messages.
Life can be as simple or as complicated as you want to make it. How much of our lives revolve around the telephone, cable television, hydro, gas service, or city, water and sewer utilities? All these services are vulnerable to minor actions which can cause major damage. Simply planting a tree can cut major services to an entire neighborhood. Should services like hydro or gas be accidentally cut, results could not only be inconvenient, but deadly. Don't attempt to repair any breaks in any service yourself. Leave the area immediately and call for repairs. These are the numbers to call in your area.
Okay, and we welcome those people watching on Cable 12 back to the broadcast as well. If it's Tuesday night and you're watching Channel 12, that's what you're watching. You're listening to us, and if you're listening to the radio right now, this is live, folks. It's not Memorex. The Cubs will start this period shorthanded, but they lead 3-0 in Game 2 of this best-of-5 quarterfinal series, and a win tonight will put a stranglehold on this series for them, and they'll go to Val East next Saturday to play a Game 3 Saturday night, and I'll have live reports, multiple live reports, as Rick Stowe once said, next Saturday night. We'll keep you abreast of that game as it goes, and hopefully they'll wrap it up there tomorrow night as we get a face-off upcoming in the Val East zone. The penalty to the Cubs is over. Again, my thanks to Don Shepardson for making the long trip from his little box up there all the way over here.
Coming from that luxury box down to yours here, Jack.
Well,
quite a drop.
It's a step down, I know, but
you know, Jack, I've noticed Sean Denemy out tonight's game probably more than I've noticed him in the last month. He's really, really skating out there tonight. Had some really good scoring chances, and to me, he's been the best player so far tonight.
well, it's Saturday night. You're supposed to play hockey on Saturday night, aren't you? Krieger on the draw. And he dumps it to the corner. Loach gets it out in front, but it's grabbed off there by Glenn Wallace. At center. Fram taking Loach in on the boards, trying to kick it free. Krieger centers it. It's cleared away and out and down the ice. And that's icing against the Cubs. So we'll take this opportunity to tell you it's 3-0 for the Cubs, and we'll be right back on CJTT right after this break.
And 19:02 here left in the second period. And I don't think there's been a power play goal tonight in this game. Valley East has played fairly well short.
Okay.
This face-off is going to take place to the left of the Valley East goaltender. The draw goes to the middle of the corner. Erlen is trying to work the puck out. Can't do it. The net comes off, and we'll have another face-off. And Jack, what's happening over in your land?
We're back live on CJTT. We never left you on Cable 12, of course, and you did a great job, Jim.
I missed that.
We won't have to do that anymore in this period. We're safe now.
All our bases covered?
We're cleared now, yeah, we're cleared. Clear sailing here. Want to remind everybody about the fan bus going to Val East next Saturday. If you want to get involved in that bus, call Debbie Marshall, 647-3637, or Joanne Major, 647-7548. You have to let them know by Wednesday, though, so they can book everything and get it going for next Saturday and go down there and cheer the Cubs on to a win and a win in this series. as they lead 3-0 in this game and looking to make it 4 as they come to center. Burnham tees one up. Rebound in front. They score! And that was Jason Forget that put that one in.
A good hard shot.
Off the Burnham shot.
Good hard shot, and the rebound did come loose. Actually, that makes the score 4-0 now. And we're early in the second period, and Liskeard look like they're quite content, Jack, to pick up a goal here and there, and they're going to play their pace for the rest of the game, from what I've seen.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to see them let up at all. They're going to make sure they get a good lead in this one before they start to put it in cruise control. There's no doubt about that. They don't want to take any chances. You know, I wonder, Jim, if this series continues the way it is and the Cubs do win it as easily as they are winning right now, when they get against a tougher opponent, you know, they might not be ready for it right away, because it has been a bit of a soft series for them so far.
I tend to look at it differently than that, Jack. I think actually they're going to get their confidence back. I think they were very, very confident about 3 or 4 weeks ago they could beat any team in the league. Last night's game was sort of a nothing game, and I think they'll be ready for whoever they play.
From the face-off, Denemy tries to kick it back, but it's taken away. And skating to center with it is Carrier. He dumps it in and peels back to the blue line. Zubik off the boards, picked off. Here comes Valise, quick shot right on, rebound. And it bounced over the stick of Hodges as he tried to get a backhand away. And comes out to center. Denemy knocked down. Here's Fram back for Valise, tries to tee up a shot. Gets around Zubik. Knocked off the puck by Zubik. Good play there. And it's kicked out to center. Right back into the Cubs zone it goes, but Zubik will get rid of it. And here come the Cubs. Denemy. Denemy with Dave Brown. There's the pass. They score!
Well, talk about a player. Sean Denemy certainly did all the work, and he made the goal happen. Dave Brown was in the clear. Sean made no mistake. Beautiful play. And I'd just like to comment on whether talking about the Cubs being ready for the series as it goes along, Jack. I think the series, as you know and I know, as you keep progressing in the series, they're going to get tougher. And I don't think it's a case of being ready. I think it's a case of can they play tough enough, and if they can play tough enough, they're going to go a long way.
Well, so far, so good here with a 5-0 lead now in the second period. And Jim, last night, I know you were here at the game. This is where the Cubs put the game away last night. I think they scored 6 or 7 goals in the second period, and it looks like they're on their way to doing it here. And here's Scott in front. He just missed. Now Krieger steals it. Here's Krieger walking into the slot. He's knocked down. He's slid it across, and Loach couldn't get his stick on it. Now he runs into the goaltender. Well, the Cubs really turning it on here in the second period. Loach knocks his man down. There at the side of the net was Scott going for the hat trick. Now here's Rivard off a leg. Cubs all over Valley East. They can't do anything. Scott behind the net. Now right out in front, and the net comes off. The puck went in, but I don't think there'll be a goal there. I
don't think there'll be a goal there, Jack, but there's going to be a penalty by the look of things. 16:33 left here in the second period. The score is 5-0. Valley East takes the penalty, and I think that's going to be a trend for the rest of the night, probably. They're going to have to try and slow this Liskeard team down, and they're going to have to take penalties to do that.
So the Cubs go to the power play with a 5-0 lead, and that's all that they needed. But they'll take it.
Well, I guess they will at this point, and they're certainly skating a lot better than they were last night.
Oh, there's no doubt, and that was right off the bat. They came to play right from the opening minute here, and they're just getting better as the game goes on, as they did last night. Major back there picks it up behind his own net. Here he comes to center, picking up speed. He's got Zafiris and Burnham with him. There's the pass to Burnham. Comes loose from the corner. Major lets it go. Tipped in front. Blocked. Leash comes out. Pounces on it. and we'll get a face-off in the Valley East zone.
And just getting back to your interview with Don at the end of the first period, Jack, Don mentioned that there could be some conflicts of ice time use and that type of thing. And, you know, my only comment as the council person in town and a recreation committee member is that's a nice situation. When the facility is that busy, I hope we have that problem every year.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. Here's Major. Oh, off the base of the post. He blasted it from the point. Burnham. Forget gets it back to Major. Along the boards to Burnham, or to Jason Forget. Burnham in the corner trying to get free. Knocked down in front was Zafiris. There's a shot. Oh, and Andy Burnham tried to pick it up off the boards, but couldn't control it. Major at the blue line again. He's going to fake the shot into Forget. Back, there's the shot right on. Rebound in front, and Burnham was tied up. Now another, they whack and they score! Forget finally, it got free, and he puts it upstairs. Jason Forget.
Well, they had 3 cracks at that one before they finally scored, and a couple of the Valley East guys having a look over at the referee. I think maybe they thought that the play should have been whistled down, but the puck was loose, and it's a goal. It stands at 6-0 with 15:28 left here in the second period.
So 3 goals in about a 5-minute span here in the second period, and this one's blown open again. 6-0 for the Cubs.
Yeah, and actually as this period started, Jack, the puck shots weren't getting through to the net. They were getting off the net. They weren't getting through. They were getting goals on 1 or 2 shots.
Here's Fram now for Valley East, tried to get it up to Corno. Cut off at the line by Zubik. Shot into the Cubs zone. Marshall will play it. Sean Smith behind the net. Smith throws it across to Denemy. He has to chase it as it was off his stick. Comes out to center. Sean Smith moves up. Here's Fram for Valley at center. Couldn't get away with it. But picking it up there is LeMay. He's knocked down. We're going to get a penalty here to the Cubs. I guess it'll be interference.
No question about that one. It was an interference penalty. Actually, it was a good penalty today. The Valley East player could have had the opportunity to have a shot on goal. And I really think at this point in time, some team would enjoy a shot.
Yeah, probably would, wouldn't they?
Also like to mention at this time, Jack, that if the playoffs do go on and that type of thing, the user groups have been very cooperative over the years. When there has to be something happen in this facility, we've always been able to make it happen.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll work around that in a couple of weeks when they're faced with it, no doubt. Let's hope they do, anyway. Or the Cubs will have to go to Cobalt to play, Jim.
Well,
could be a little cool doing a game from there. You might not want to join me in that one. Comes back to the blue line. Taber lets it go, bounces in front, right to Loach, and he gets it up to Sean Scott. Scott walks by his man. He's got Loach going to the net, but it's taken away there by LaValle. Back comes Valley East. They have the man advantage here for the next minute and 33 seconds. Cubs have a 6-0 lead. Rifled around the boards. Not out. Crisp. Bumped by Scott. Rivard in there battling along the boards as well. Now it comes to the line, and finally the Cubs will grab it and get it out and down the ice. Minute 13 left in the power play. Zafiris on the ice now with Krieger to kill off the rest of this penalty, the last minute or so of it. Michael Corno. Bumped. Marshall plays it behind the net. Joyelle off the boards and out over the line. Luke Forget for Valley East dumps it back in. The Cubs get rid of it down the ice with 34 seconds left in the Cub penalty. Luke Forget. Oh, he's flattened by Zafiris in behind the net. What a heavy hit that was. Bode cuts off that pass in the slot area. Major is there to take the puck away, and he rifles it around the boards, out and down the ice, and that'll do it. The Cubs have killed off this penalty.
I was just trying to catch up and have a look at the penalty minutes. See what the Cubs penalties were mostly for all year, and roughing was a big one with 220 minutes.
Yeah, they were one of the lowest penalized team in the league, that's for sure. Didn't have a lot of penalties. Here's Fram. He's bumped by Craig Brown. Code right in front of his own net, falls, but gets it up to Burnham. It's knocked off his stick. Major bumps number 16, Glenn Wallace, into the boards. Now we have a penalty coming up here. And I think it's Major that's going to go.
Yeah, it's a penalty coming up, actually number 6. I guess it's Burnham.
Well, Andy's good for at least one a game, you know. As I said last night, I told Andy in the dressing room before the game he was allowed one, and he took one. Yeah. So he's his quota. He's reached his quota tonight.
Well, I was just, as I said, I was just looking down the penalty minutes, and I noticed roughing after the whistle account for 300 minutes for the Cub team. And they're not a big team, you know. To get those kind of penalties in those numbers, it's kind of surprising.
Well, they've got some guys who can throw their weight around, like Tim Safiris can hit with the best of them. He usually catches you pretty clean, though. He's knocked some people down this year, and I think they still wonder what happened. So Valley's back on the power play. They didn't get much going on that last one. They'll see what they can do on this one as Crisp overskates it at center. Wallace dumps it in, but he puts it right on the stick of Sean Smith, who rifles it down the ice.
Well, that's the type of stuff that they're going to have if they're going somewhere, Jack. They're going to have to be able to play physical and not take penalties on the play.
Valley East now, Crisp taking the pass at center and over the line. He's got Roy with him. Tried to pass it across, but a nice play by Zubik to cut that off. It's kept in at the line by Thibert. Along the boards is Crisp. He's looking to the blue line again. Thibert takes a shot. Denemy picks up the loose puck and skates away with it. Denemy's going to get a break here. Sean Denemy going right in on goal, scores!
Well, Sean Denemy gets another one, and boy, he really put on the speed there. Made a great play. The other Liskeard winger sort of was the decoy. No mistake. That makes it 7-0 now, Jack?
Yes, sir. 7-0, and that goal shorthanded for Sean Denemy, and that's his second of the game. Sean Scott has 2. Denemy now has 2. Forget, Dave Brown, Jason Forget actually has 2 as well in this game. So here we go again, just like last night.
Well, as Shep said when you were talking to him, the club has a lot of balance, and they can put a lot of points on the board from a lot of different players.
Yeah, last night's game, it was a different group of people who were putting the puck in the net, so it's on any given night, or any given shift, I guess. Here's Fram, back for Valley East. They're still with the man advantage. In front it comes. Nice save by Marshall as he slid and stopped that shot by Roy, who was right on the doorstep, and down the ice it goes again. Phil LaValle behind the net. Puck in the Valley East zone. Thibert gets it up to Jason Roy. Can't get by Joel, but Fram picks up the loose puck. He's back to the point. There's a long shot saved by Marshall. Roy centers it. Sean Scott picks it up and shoots it down the ice. And that'll do it. The Cub penalty is over, and they are the team that scores the goal shorthanded on that penalty. Sean Denemy breaking in. Wallace gets it up to Luke Messier. He's cut off, and Major, look out, clears it up and out of play. That sent a few people ducking.
We're halfway through the second period here, Jack, and that point of balance is quite a good thing to talk about, because when the playoffs do come, it's no different at this level of hockey than it is at pro hockey. If you depend on one line to do your scoring, somebody's going to shut you down.
That's for sure. But that's a good thing for the Cubs. They don't have to depend on just one line to do it. And as long as they don't go sour somewhere along the way, they'll be just fine. That puck bounces off the boards, comes to the side of the net. Marshall will freeze it.
Well, I guess as this series progresses, if the scores do stay the same way they are, I guess the Cub team has to keep their interest. They have to keep their momentum, and they have to carry that momentum into the next series. And as we said earlier, this team may be the team that can do it.
So we have a face-off in the Cub zone. And it's taken away by Major from the draw. Behind his own net, stumbles a bit. Long pass up to Loach. He's got Sean Scott going to the net. In, no, nice save there by Leash. Scott again, and he scores! There's the hat trick for Sean Scott.
I think we've got some scores in the down now. Sudbury's leading Captain Casey 2-1. Timmins are tied with the Sioux at 1. 9:31 left here in the second period. 8-0 is the score.
Okay, so that the Sioux looking to wrap up that series tonight, and that Cap, the Sudbury series, is tied at a game, so Sudbury has the lead over Cap in that contest, and that's back up in Cap, isn't it? Yeah, Sudbury had the home ice in that series. Yeah, and the other game is in Timmins, of course. And our thanks to Don Shepardson for that. He made the call. Zubik. Up for Sean Smith. Here they come to center. Loach. There's a shot. Oh, hot drive, and Leash stopped that. 8-0 Cubs. Sean Scott just scoring, and that's the hat trick for number 8. So a nice return for him here in this game, getting the hat trick after being off for so long. Here's Krieger trying to get loose. Corno dumps it in. Crisp chasing it against Smith. Marshall plays it into the corner. Zubik and Corno battle for it. The Bear pinches in, and Krieger comes up with it, and the Valley East defenseman fell at center, but the Cubs will change.
Well, we certainly got to give Valley East some credit, Jack. They're trying. They haven't resorted to any stick work and that type of thing in the game. They're playing as good as they can, and unfortunately, they're just playing a better hockey team tonight.
Here's Forchette, walks in. Oh, nice save now. Oh, right through the crease. Andy Burnham, he thought he had it. I thought he had it, and so did everybody else in the building, but somehow it stayed out. Zephyris cranks one from about 10 feet out, and that hit a good thing that hit the stick. I think it would have killed the goaltender.
Sometimes you wonder where they're going to end up.
There's Burnham circling and firing, and that was blocked. And he's knocked down. And here comes Valley East. Corno. Not much on that shot, and the puck gets stuck up on top of the boards. Now it's knocked down. You don't see that too often.
That's the first time I've seen it. Play continues.
That's strange. I guess you do enough of these things, you see just about anything, eh?
Well, I guess that's right. I can remember a lot of years ago when we used to have 4 of the 7 series, and in fact, some of the series were 5 out of 9, and Mike McCarthy and I did a fair bit of radio work over the years, and had a lot of fun, and sure saw a lot of strange things.
Well, being with him, I guess that's about as strange as it gets, isn't it?
Well, that's for sure, because you guys see him every Friday.
Oh, boy. He's got stocks in the Brill Cream Company. Here's Craig Brown, all alone, scores! Nice play there.
It was a nice play, bit of a weak goal because it was not a very hard shot, but I think the goaltender was surprised by the fact that the Cub player was there that quick. We're at 9-0 now. We've got 7:30 left here in the second period, and it's just a matter of how many and how quickly.
Yep. So Craig Brown makes it 9, and boy, what do we got here? We got Sean Scott with the hat trick, Jason Forchette with a pair. What else we got here? Sean Denemy has a couple of goals in this game as well, and they just keep piling them up. What are the shots in this period, by the way?
Well, right now the shots are standing at 16-5, but that's not as bad as what you might think, because a lot of shots were blocked by the defenseman.
So Valley East out of this one as they were last night about this time as well.
Well, that's 31 shots to this point in the game, and we're just over halfway through.
That's right, and here they come again. Major right in front of Brown, scores! Nice play there again. Craig Brown redirecting that thing in the net, and now he has a couple in this one.
Well, those last 2 plays, the Cup team just can't do anything wrong right at the present time, and we're going to have to do something to keep this interesting here tonight, Jack. I guess we'll have to get somebody to go and find out those scores for Jeff again.
What are those out-of-town scores? Yeah. Oh, boy.
Because believe me, this looks like an easy series, and, you know, you shouldn't be making those types of comments, but you can't help but make them with the score 10-0. The series are only going to get tougher.
The facts don't lie.
You're right.
The numbers are there. We didn't make them up. 10-0 for the Cubs here in Game 2, and Game 3 will be next Saturday night down in the Valley, and if it continues like this thing will be over in a hurry. Here's Luc Messier back for Valley East and over the line. It's on the brakes. Wallace picks it up, tried to center. Krieger rifles it around the boards, and as he touches it, we have a penalty here to the Cubs.
Cross-checking penalty goes to Marty Loach, and actually that penalty started about 30 seconds earlier when Marty and the Valley East player were jostling in center ice. I think Marty might have clipped him with the stick and was followed around for a ways. Finally, he cross-checked him to the ice. 6:49 remaining here in the second period, and Valley East will go on the power play.
So we haven't had a lot of penalties here. The Cubs have been assessed 5 so far, Valley East 3. So it hasn't been penalty filled for sure. And
been a pretty tame game.
Let's hope it stays that way. The Bear pinched in, couldn't keep it in. Valley East with the man advantage here. Luc Messier bringing it in over the line. That's cut off, and now Krieger chasing it into the Valley East zone. He's all by himself, takes it behind the net, pulled down. Here's Wallace quickly to center. Zubik rifles it around the boards. Sean Smith behind his own net around the board. Sean Scott trying to catch up to it. That must have been a popular name about 16 years ago, Sean.
For sure.
There's a few of them on this team, isn't there?
Yeah, there is.
Let me see. We got Sean Smith, Sean Denemy, Sean Scott, and we made up one last night, Sean Brown. Did you know that? Yeah, there's a new player. He just plays once in a while, though.
Did they bring him up?
Yeah, well, just specialty teams.
I wonder sometimes if these names don't relate to some of these soap programs that are happening on TV, and over the years how the names go and how popular they get.
And we brought Todd Zubik back to the Cubs.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, to join John. We did that last night a couple times. He's not here tonight, though. He couldn't make it.
Actually, John's played very well tonight. He's really crashed into the corners, carried the puck fairly well. He's really into the play.
Nice addition, eh? He's played well. For a kid who hasn't played hockey all winter, but he's been in great shape, a great track athlete, as most people know, and it didn't take him long to get his feet wet in this again. He almost made this team last year and broke his wrist in the training camp, and that decided his fate there. Valley East with the man advantage. There's a shot. Oh, that was a good drive. Just missed. That's probably the best shot they've had on net in the whole game. Now Forget chasing it down, and he's cut off there by Hodges. Crisp. Couldn't get anywhere with it. That'll just about do it here for the Valley East power play. They'll get one more shot on net. No, it doesn't get through. Burnham bumping Forno into the boards, and pucks throws in there, and we're going to get a whistle. We'll have a face-off to the left of Chad Marshall with 4:43 to go in the second period. The Cubs with a 10-0 lead.
Well, certainly the score is indicative of the play, no question about that. The point I think we should make with John Zubik in the lineup, he's got a jumper. He's in the play all the time. He's got lots of enthusiasm, and that little bit of extra enthusiasm can only help this team.
That's for sure. And he looked a little uncomfortable with the first game he played, playing forward near the end of the year, but he looks much better on the blue line. There's a centering pass. Dave Brown almost pops that in. Denemy trying to get free. He's tied up there by Fram. Major backpedaling to his own line, gets it across to Code. Into the middle for Dave Brown, and the puck slides right in to Leash, and he freezes it. Because we'll have another face-off in the Valley East zone as the second slowly tick by here in the second period.
And when do these clubs play again, Jack?
Next Saturday night, down in Valley East. I believe it's a
chance to regroup and see what happens down there. What we've seen in these two games, it should be a short series.
Well, that was the closest game. There, right off the boards it came, and Dave Brown now in front. They score! Sean Denemy.
Now we've got 4:08 here remaining in the second period. The score has been run up to 11-0, and certainly it looks like the shutout is achievable.
That'll be the goal, I think, from here on in. They certainly don't need to score any more goals.
No, they don't need to score any more goals, and the incentive for the Cub team now would be to try and preserve the shutout. Good for the goaltender, John Marshall.
The closest game in the regular season between these two teams was in Valley East. It was 6-4. Here's Craig Brown in front. Oh, and Dave Brown shot it wide. Dave Brown again walks right into the slot, gets it to Denemy. The Cubs swarming all over Valley East now, as you said, like a bee in a hive, or a bee to honey, or what did you say? Something like that.
Like the hornets coming to the honey.
Major fires it off the glass back into the Valley East zone. Sean Denemy completes the hat trick with that goal. It's 11-0 Cubs. Here's Scott into the middle to Krieger. Couldn't control it. He's knocked down. And over the line comes LeMay. LeMay walks in, lets it go. Nice save. Penalty coming up here. I believe it's going to the Cubs again.
Well, that should make the play a little bit closer, at least for the next few minutes. Down to 3:13 left here in the second period. And the score remains at 11-0. Certainly, the Cubs have full value for the 11 goals. Valley East are not hitting. They started the game fairly physical, but in fairness to Valley East, I think they're tired. The Cub team is skating very, very well, and if you're chasing these guys around all night, you're going to get tired.
We've got...
Yeah, it looks like we've got a penalty each team.
2 to the Cubs and 1 to Valley on that call, I think.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah. So the Valley East will get the man advantage. Not that it's done them any good in this game, but...
Well, you're the veteran sportscaster, so you should be able to pick that up then.
Now listen, George Harrison, don't you start on me.
Yeah, I think I was drawing a blank that night.
Yeah,
no, I'm like,
you remembered later who he was.
Like Steve Taylor. Yeah. He's not a Beatles fan either.
Well, now I know Dick Farrow is, so that's why he mentioned that to me. That
Dick's a fan of a lot of musicians.
both McKnight and Dick Farrow, two big Beatle fans. They've got all the records. I wouldn't lie to you about that. So Valley East with the power play here, trying to break this shutout. They trail 11-0. I don't think that winning the game is the object for them now. It's just scoring a goal maybe in this game as we wind down the second period. But it's the Cubs on the offense, even though they're shorthanded. And that pass by Forget back to the Zubik at the line got by him. So it goes down into the Cubs zone. Sean Smith's back there to rifle it around the boards. Sean Scott will pick it up. He's pinned in on the boards by 2 players. Not out, kept in there by Phil LaValle. There's a shot. Ooh, that changed directions, just missed. Matthew Hodges. And Scott gets it to center. Shot back in by LaValle. Marshall will play it for Zubik. He gets rid of it down the ice. 55 seconds left in the man advantage for Valley East. As the Cubs change, Denemy on the ice with Dave Brown. Denemy almost steals that, and Brown dumps it in, but Denemy was offside. He has to clear the zone. Now he's back in there. Whoa, and he pasted his man in on the boards behind the net. Stopped him dead in his tracks. There's Corno in front. Crisp couldn't get his stick on it. Back to the line it comes to Thaber. A high drive, easy glove save for Marshall. With 1:36 left in the period, 23 seconds left in the Valley East power play, and the Cubs with an 11-0 lead. And let's see now, if I can read my writing here. Craig Brown has 2 in this period. Sean Scott, Sean Denemy with 2 in this period. Jason Frigette has 2 in this period, and Dave Brown has a single. So they've really run up the score here in the second.
Well, they sure have, and this is a hard game to officiate. There's no problem with the officiating, of course. I'm not suggesting that, but it's a hard game to officiate because I think he's done a really good job. He's let a little bit go that he could have called. He didn't need to call because the Liskeard team does not need to have the man advantage.
Joel, that was the Valley East player knocked that down, didn't know where it was, and he just flattened Dave Brown. That's number 6, Luke Forget. The Bear gets it across to Fram. Shots blocked. Cubs couldn't get it out, but now they do. And out of the penalty box is Safiris, and that's cleared up and out of play. And Al and I talked about this on our TV broadcasts earlier in the year here on Cable 12, and this is the first time we've had a chance to talk about it live on radio, but it's really nice to see Jesse McEwen here at the games and looking really good. He's made a lot of progress in the last couple months after that serious accident.
Well, he sure has. He's a nice kid, a nice family. I know the family, and we were, really wishing Jesse the best through the whole thing. I saw him here last night, and you're right, the kid looks tremendous.
Yeah, I just watching him walk down the aisle here as we took that little break, and it's really nice to see him involved again. Here's Code getting it out to center. Forget chasing it against number 6, Luke Forget. Now in front it comes. Burnham scores. Nice play off the boards. Bing, bang, boom. It's in again.
That was a really pretty goal, Jack. No question about that. It was a great play. The point I was trying to make earlier was I want to compliment the referee in this game because he's letting them go, trying to get the game along as quickly as he can. When the score runs up like this, there are other things that can happen. They haven't, and I attribute quite a bit of it to the way the game's been handled tonight.
Andy Burnham gets the goal. That's 9 goals for the Cubs here, Jim, in the second period to blow this thing wide open at 12-0. 49 seconds left in the period. Now they score. Valley East breaks the shutout. The puck come off the boards, and standing there was Luc Messier, and he puts it home.
Just a little defensive lapse there just for a very short time, and all of a sudden the shutout is broken. The shots on goal that I have up to this point in time are 20-9 in favor of the Cubs in the second period, but I should say that the Valley East shots have not been very dangerous shots.
And that one there just took a good bounce for them, and Messier was there, and he popped it home. So it's 12-1 now for the Cubs. Major off the helmet of the Valley East player down into the zone and go right to the goaltender. He'll have to freeze it with 25 seconds left in the second period.
Well, I guess we have to go as a shot on goal, and certainly would have went in the net without the goaltender, but it was a pretty weak shot.
Yeah, it was, and it was redirected off a helmet.
Well, I saw one time a fellow was playing center field where he redirected a fly ball off his forehead. I don't have to tell you that.
And I hear he dropped like a redwood and didn't move. He misjudged it a little, did he? Come in.
He said he had it, and he did.
Off the head. Oh boy, that's using your head. I guess that ball was a little greasy after, when you picked it up, was it, or no?
Well, I'm not sure.
You're not going to comment. That does it for period number 2. So for you people watching on cable TV, we'll tell you we'll be back with the third period. It's 12-1 Cubs. But for you people on radio, we're going to stay here, and Jim's going to tell us exactly what those shots were.
Okay, I've got shots on goal here at 22 to...
Life can be as simple or as complicated as you want to make it. How much of our lives revolve around the telephone, cable television, hydro, gas service, or city, water and sewer utilities? All these services are vulnerable to minor actions which can cause major damage. Simply planting a tree can cut major services to an entire neighborhood. Should services like hydro or gas be accidentally cut, results could not only be inconvenient, but deadly. Don't attempt to repair any breaks in any service yourself. Leave the area immediately and call for repairs. These are the numbers to call in your area.
So we get ready here for period 3, and Jason Willard replacing Chad Marshall in the Cub goal. I think that's a good idea.
I think it's a good idea. You know, sometime down the road you may need Jason. It's certainly a good idea to get him in the game now, get him into a playoff game, and get his confidence. Very good move.
I thought maybe they do that last night, but they didn't. But tonight it's a good idea. And as you say, Jim, down the road, they might need him somewhere along the way. And if he hasn't played at all, boy, that's an awful tough situation to put a kid in.
That's for sure. And I can remember, Jack, when they had the old juvenile league many years ago, they used to, if you had weak goaltender, your goaltender all of a sudden got injured, you had a pickup from Curtin Lake or whoever else was in the league at that time.
That's right, and that may still happen with the Cubs, depending on this. Here's the Fierce now with Forget. Fierce to Forget. Oh, and I don't know if the goalie stopped that or he just flipped it wide, but it didn't go in, that's for sure. Cubs right on the attack here. Even though they have 12, they're looking for 13. I think they want to send a message to Valley East that we're not going to let you off the hook at any time, in any game, at any situation. So don't get any ideas about getting back in this.
Oh, for sure. And the worst thing you can do is try and slow your game down. I mean, you've got to go out and play the game the way that you've been playing all year, and that looks like what they're going to do.
Here they come, Valley East now to center, trying to get some offense going here. They've been sorely lacking in that in the 2 games that we've seen so far. Hodges tries to get free. He'll pick it up along the boards. Behind the net it goes. Chris trying to center it. He's knocked off the puck, and Cote gets it up. It's out to center. Dumped back in by LaValle. Rivard for the Cubs in his own zone. Backhands it along the boards. It's kept in there. Into the slot area goes. Denemy will pick it up for the Cubs, circling in front of his own net. Sean Denemy working his way to center. Up to Craig Brown. Drops it back to Denemy. Walks in, lets it go. And that went through the legs of the goaltender and right out the other side. And it comes to the line. And Crisp will play it for Valley East. Chopped into the Cubs zone. Both teams changing on the fly here.
Well, it's certainly not very exciting at the present time, Jack. The play's a little bit scrambly and not too exciting.
Valley East trying to get something going here. Comes back to the point. That's blocked in front. Shot from the blue line. Fram, number 77, picks it up. Turning away from Sean Scott. Krieger steals it. Doesn't get it out, though. Joel off the boards and down the ice. Terrian picking it up behind his own net. Now the puck gets stuck in the water down there. The ice still a little wet in the Valley East zone. Scott all alone in front, and it's kicked away by Leash, and Sean Scott almost had his 4th of the game. Fram in control, gets it back to the blue line. Cross to Luc Bourget. There's a shot wide of the net. Again, Jason Willard replacing Chad Marshall here in the 3rd with the Cubs holding this huge lead. They want to give Jason some playing time. And we've got a penalty coming up here, and that's going to go to Valley East. No doubt about that.
No question about that. It could turn out to be a double minor, although I think he's going to call just a single minor. The score remains at 12-1, 17 minutes, 6 seconds left here in the 3rd period. And maybe it'd be good to keep a little bit of that water on the ice, Jack. Try and save those icings and move this 3rd period along.
Yeah, that'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Valley East looked like a tired hockey club. And as we said earlier, they've been chasing the Cubs around all night. I don't think I've seen Liskeard skate any better. Now, I know that it's easier to be as quick when the other team is having problems like Valley East, but the Cubs are really skating out there tonight.
Well, we talked about Valley East winning that tournament. Marty Loach now heading to the dressing room. have no idea why he'd be doing that, unless he said something and took a 10 or a game, but I think maybe just equipment problems. We'll check that out for you. But Valley East won that mini tournament in Kirkland to get here, but I think maybe they spent all they had there, you know, because I don't think they haven't shown us here in these two games that you know, that they're any better than they were at the end of the year.
That's right, and I don't think they are, and I think you have to remember that they were playing teams that were relatively close to them in the standings, with the exception of the Sioux Thunder, who we didn't know a lot about. And I'm not sure that, you know, everybody's got an opinion on what should happen at the end of the year, but I'm not sure that this type of a mismatch is good for hockey.
No, well, you know, it's obvious that the Cubs finished, 47 points ahead of these guys, and it's showing. That wasn't a fluke.
Well,
there was a reason for that.
There was a reason for it, and it's carrying through.
Well, Zafiris and number 22, Eric Thabert, just collided in front of the penalty box, and Zafiris went down heavily. And I think penalty coming up here, too, with Thabert.
Well, I don't know what happened there. When I looked up, Tim was on the ice, and certainly it looked like it could have been an interference.
I think it was. There was no puck anywhere near Zafiris when he got nailed, so I think that's why the call. But he sure got flattened. But he bounced back up real quick.
He's a tough kid, and he's played well for the Cubs all winter. He's taking his lumps. He gets up and away he goes. In fact, I'm impressed with the Cubs team over the winter, actually. I said this a lot of times. They're well disciplined. They take their lumps and they get up and go out and score a goal, and that's what it's all about.
Burnham now tries to barge his way through. Zafiris trying to work his way in front. Bourget in there now. That Valley East comes away with. Now we got a penalty behind the play, or a whistle at least. I don't know what maybe they're both going to go.
I'm not sure. Maybe Jason doesn't want to give up that stick.
No,
that's his good goal-scoring stick or something.
He likes that stick. He said, my dad bought me that, and it's expensive, and he said that if I break it or lose it, I don't get another one.
He'll have to go out and take the rest of the shifts in the third period with no stick.
We're having trouble with this pen. We got to bring more pens to this next game, I think.
Yeah, we got to bring an extra pen or two. I'll go up to the shop there and get you a couple tomorrow.
Well, I appreciate that.
Yeah, okay, Sam.
We got some problems here?
Well, Steph was just wondering if she could get some indication from the bench on what happened to Loach, or if anything, or what the call was there.
Yeah, why did he leave? We don't know. He didn't. I don't think he was hurt. Didn't seem to be. Maybe he had a phone call. Puck into the Cubs zone. Major.
We've got the word there now, Jack. 3 stick penalties.
Okay, that'll do it.
You can explain that.
Three stick infractions, yeah, in one game.
One game.
So that was his third, and that means he's gone for the game. So three minor stick infractions and a game misconduct. Brown. The enemy behind the net now with it. Gets it back to the blue line to Code. There's the shot. Stopped in front. Rebound. Puck's loose and it's cleared away. And shot out and down the ice. 15 minutes and 50 seconds left in this hockey game, and it's 12-1 for the Cubs. They're looking to go up 2-0 in this series. And I don't think there's any problem there. Now here they come again. Denemy and Zafiris. Oh, and Zafiris rifled it wide. Bourget behind the net, putting on the brakes. Dave Brown in the corner. Battling away, trying to get it free. And the Consbeck come up with it, and they'll come out. LaValle dumps it in. Inside the Cub line, they battle for it, slides out to center. On the stick of Carrier. Carrier at center. Krieger trying to get free. Here's Terry in and over the line. Slides it back to the point. It comes, blocked. Trying to get loose on center. He's tied up. Here comes Roy for Valley East, and over the Cub line, cuts into the slot, knocked down. Fram couldn't get his stick on it, and it's cleared out to center. Cote to Joyelle. Here's Denemy now picking it up off the boards. He's got Craig Brown in front, takes a shot, and Leash makes a nice glove save and hangs on.
Really nice glove save there, Jack. And just a comment on Marty Loach. He's out of tonight's game, but Marty has played well this winter for the Cubs. Marty is not an easy skater. He works hard at his game, and he's got good work ethics. He's been a good addition to this Cub team.
Yeah, he sure has. And, you know, you have to have the scoring, but you need players like Marty Loach as well with some size and some tenacity. And
he's good around the net.
Yeah. And that's what we talked about, that balance. They've got a little bit of everything on this team. Here's Denemy. Oh, and he couldn't get that shot away as he tried to work his way in front. Sean Scott in front now. The goaltender, Leash, dives out there with Craig Brown looking for a loose puck.
Well, you talk about getting the shot away, Jack. I don't think there's a better player in the league getting the shot away than Tim Cavieres. Tim doesn't need the big wind-up to get a good shot on goal. He's got good hands and a good wrist shot, and that accounted for a lot of points for him this winter.
Yeah, he was the leading goal scorer in the league this year. Not point getter, but goal scorer, and as a rookie. So he had quite the season. I think he had 37 goals.
Pretty impressive.
Somewhere around there. If I gypped you, Tim, sorry, I think 37, 39, somewhere now. I think you've got it there. Yeah, there you go. We can tell you exactly what it was. Here comes Valley East in over the line. Number 20 is LeMay. Can't get loose. Kicked away by Willard.
39 goals.
There, I gypped him by 2, so he can.
Well, a while I didn't have my glasses.
So 39 goals for in his rookie season, and of course he made the first All-Star team at forward. And we got a penalty to the Cubs here.
Yeah, we've got a little bit of chippiness coming into the game at this point in time. I mean, it's not surprising the score is 12-1. It's been a pretty clean game up to this point. The first period started out fairly aggressively, and it's calmed down a lot since then. It's really been a no-hitter in the second half of the game.
Well, let's hope we can keep it that way, though. We don't want to see it get out of hand that way.
We certainly don't. It's a different kind of a game to watch and a different kind of a game to be calling if it's an aggressive, hard-hitting 2-2 or 3-2 hockey.
That puck off the stick, up and out of play.
Actually, we're getting a lot more whistles here in the third period than we had in the first two, even though we had a lot of goals early in the game. 13:02 remaining here in the third period. The score remains 12-1 in favor of the Cubs, and 1:50 left in the second.
Valley East now off the face-off, trying to bring it up, but they're stopped. Jason Frechette in there doing some great forechecking against Luke Messi. Now Zafaris steals it, stays with it, trying to strip it from his man Terrian, and Terrian wins that battle, and he'll bring it up to center ice. Nice pass up to Luke Messier. 2 lines offside. 1:29 left in the power play for Valley East.
It would appear, Jack, it seems to me that the Cub team has slowed down in the last 4 or 5 minutes. They seem to be content to play out the clock, and at this point in time, I suppose it's not a bad idea.
No, it's hard to keep that pace up for 60 minutes. Running and gunning like that. You have to slow down somewhere along the way. Luke Messier now over to Joey Roy and over the line. He can't get anywhere with it. Pass over for Carno. He couldn't get it. Luke Forget from the blue line. Jason Willard loves it, and he's going to hang on. 1:03.
Jason's not getting a lot of work here in the third period, but he looks comfortable out there. I have seen Jason play other times this year. One of the games I thought he was a little bit uncomfortable. He certainly looks comfortable out there tonight.
Yeah, he does. It's nice to see him back in there too and getting a chance to play. Where there could be problems down the road where he has to go back and play with the Lions, the team that he's signed with. So the Cubs will have to find another goalie maybe down the line somewhere. But right now, I don't think there's too much of a conflict, so they'll be able to keep him around for a while.
Sure.
And I think he'd like to be able to stay as long as he could as well.
Well, why not?
Yeah, he's sure getting to play a lot of hockey this year. There's no doubt about that. There's a centering pass by Hodges, and now the net comes off, so we'll get a whistle.
Well, we're down to 11:58 here in the third period. Scoring has sort of subsided here for a little while, and we don't have a problem with that. This game certainly in hand. What is it, 3 out of 5, Jack?
Yeah.
So we're looking at one more game in the series. I'd be surprised if it goes further than that.
Oh, I think Valley East will probably... Here's Joey Roy from the face-off walking in, lets it go. Willard stops it. He'll hang on again. I think Valley East will probably play their best game at home, or they'll try to play their best game at home, but as you said, I think if the Cubs turn it up and really want to win this thing, they will win it next Saturday night. There's no doubt about that.
Oh, I think that'll happen. And, Valley East probably will come out and fight good at home, and they'll probably stay with the Cub team for 20 or 25 minutes, but just a little too much talent on this team for the Valley East squad. Not a lot of difference in size, just a lot of difference in talent.
And Stephanie had asked me in that intermission if they were a young team, and I'm not quite sure. Here's Craig Brown breaking away, walks in, scores!
Well,
end to end.
Certainly that was a good goal by Craig Brown, and we had just mentioned that the goal scoring had quit for the present time, and bang, all of a sudden another goal.
Now let's see.
No.
And he's got the hat trick tonight too. I'm losing track of these goal scores. I think Denemy has 3 tonight as well, and oh boy, we'll go through that later. We'll figure that out later.
Yeah, we'll worry about it. I'm sure that...
I don't think they care right now who has 3 or 4 or 2. Or they're just glad they're up 13-1 and on their way to a victory. And that's another short-handed goal, so that's 2 in this game. So Valley East on the power play here still with about 12 seconds to go. Cote rifles it off the boards and down the ice. And that will do it for this power play for Valley East, and not a good one. They've had a few of those tonight. Craig Brown almost stealing the puck again behind the net. Back into the Valley East zone it goes again. Denemy takes his man off the puck behind the net. Dave Brown hustles in there. Here's Denemy coming out in front. And the goaltender has it. And we'll have a face-off in the Valley East zone. That almost snuck in there.
Looked like they were having a meeting there for a minute. All the Valley East players were surrounding their goaltender, and there was absolutely nobody covering the puck.
Oh, I think at this point they're just sort of in total disarray. They don't really know what to do anymore.
Oh, absolutely, and they're going to be happy when this game ends. It can't be a lot of fun.
No, they just want to get home, I think. Get out of here, and they know they won't have to come back. Deep down, you have to wonder, do they want to prolong this thing anymore?
Yeah, I would guess that they probably don't.
Zubik back in his own zone. Carno up there forechecking. Sean Smith can't get to it. Comes in front of the Cub goal. But Carno was all tied up, and Zubik tips it by his man. John Zubik on the move here into the Valley East zone. Now he's knocked down. Sean Scott trying to dig it free. It's kicked to the corner. And here comes Carno for Valley East. He's got Joey Roy with him, and over the line they come. There's the pass. Oh, and that went off the leg of Willard, wide of the net. Sean Smith stick handling his way in front of his own net. Now to center comes Krieger. Gets it up to Major. Here comes the shot. Oh, and that got through the goaltender's legs, but went out the other side. Brevard will pinch in and keep it in. Safiris on the puck behind the Valley East goal. Looking in front. It's checked. Takes a couple of shots from Luc Messier. Major pins Messier into the boards. Joel at the line, keeps it in. Behind the net it goes. Hodges just gets rid of it to center. Burnham jumps on the ice, picks up the loose puck, tries to work his way in over the line, staying with it. Now he takes a shot in the head as he skated in over the line, but no problem.
Well, that was the penalty leader for the Valley East team that took the shot at Andy Burnham.
Well, Andy showed a lot of discipline there. He could have retaliated, but he just turned the other cheek, kept going. 8:50 to go in the hockey game. 13-1 for the Cubs. They won 12-3 last night. And penalty behind the play. I think Forget's going to go.
Yeah, Forget's on his way. And he's played a lot of trips over there this winter. For a little guy, he's taken a fair number of penalties. As you mentioned, the third period winding down. 8:42 remaining here. The score is 13-1. Valley East will go on the power play, but actually it looks like there's a penalty apiece.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
It won't be a power play. I believe the penalty was to number 7 for Valley East.
Ryan Crisp and Jason Forget both gone. Jason has a couple goals in this game and has played his usual strong game.
Well, I don't think any of the Cubs have played a poor game tonight. They've all been out there and they've been working hard, and it certainly shows on the scoreboard.
Sean Smith dumping it in. Phil LaValle. And here's Glenn Wallace now getting it up to LeMay. And Craig Brown steals it. Here's Brown back the other way. Works his way in. Puts on the brakes. Leaves it for brother Dave. Comes right in front. And Leash pounces on it.
Well, Jack, there's no question that Valley East's game plan has certainly broken down. I noticed on that last play across ice, the complete 5 players from Valley East were within 6 or 7 feet of the board. Nobody was playing back.
Well, I guess there's no sense them hanging back now and trying to play defense, is it?
Not at this point. I guess, like we said earlier, they're just playing the clock out now.
Craig Brown, right from the draw, gets a weak shot away and no trouble for the goaltender Leash. He'll hang on again. Another face-off.
54 shots on goal to now for the Cubs. 21 shots on goal for Valley East.
Whoa. And that's, I guess, sometimes shots aren't indicative of play, but I guess tonight you could say that you're right on there, Jimmy.
I think you're right on that shots on goal.
There's a play in front of the net, and Craig Brown, boy, you know what? It's just amazing to watch the Cubs. Here it is, 13-1 with 7 minutes 51 seconds to go, and they're playing like it's 1-0, and they need another goal badly. They're just going to the net and skating hard.
Certainly controlling the play, and as we talked about earlier, they're going to have to create some momentum. They're doing that. They're going to have to maintain it for this series and keep it for the next series, and we'll go on from there.
Yeah, I guess make their own challenges, because the challenge certainly isn't coming from the opposition, at least to this point. Krieger keeps that in. Major along the boards for Sean Scott. He's knocked down. Krieger takes his man down. Major will get it back to the point. Here's Zubik in front. Scott redirects it, but it's cleared away. Down into the Cubs zone it goes. John Zubik touching it.
Well, we've got another interference call here, Jack. Looks like Greg Major gets the gate, and interference is a popular call tonight.
Yeah. But not that many penalties, although as we get going here in the third, we've got 4 to the Cubs and 4 to Valley East, so a few more in this period than we've seen in the last couple. I hope that's not a trend.
No, a pretty tame affair here. 7:22 left here in the third period. 13-1 the score, and Greg Major is sitting out 2 minutes.
And Marty Loach tossed from this game for 3 stick infractions in this game, so he gets a game with that.
Did you get another game with that?
Now, I knew you were going to ask me that, and I'm not sure. I don't think so. That wouldn't be very nice if they did that. if they do, maybe they can get an exhibition game this week, and then he can play. He can play next Saturday. Joyal around the boards, out and down the ice. Power play, Valley East here with 6:51 to go. Leg in over the line, checked. Carno will try his luck again for Valley East. Gets it up to Messier, clears it in. Cleared to the line, not out though. Valley East will keep it in. Suvik behind the net with it. Joyal over there, they'll freeze it.
A little bit of a quick whistle there with 6:23 remaining, but at this point in time, officials aren't going to take any chances on anything breaking out or happening simply because of frustration. I think, as I said earlier, you guys done a really good game. These are not easy games to referee when the score is so lopsided. The opportunity for frustration is there. It has not been a factor.
No, that's for sure. Rivard off the boards to Safiris. He gets it out to center. Rivard will turn and fire down the ice with 48 seconds left in the power play. 13-1 Cubs with 6:06 to go.
This reminds me a little bit, Jack, of a number of years ago when the Oakland Seals and Los Angeles first came into the NHL. The players would come into Maple Leaf Gardens and you could hardly wait to get out of the rink.
Well, they wanted to go sightseeing. There was a couple of watering holes they wanted to visit. You would know what I was talking about, though, would you?
No, but I have heard some rumors.
There's a quick shot off the stick of Crisp, and a nice save by Willard. Luke Forget keeps it in for Valley East at the line, comes in front. Back to the point to Hodges. He's checked by Safiris, knocked off the puck, and Burnham comes up with it. Slides it up to Safiris, who's going to break in on goal, and he deked the goaltender and was hooked a little bit and thrown off stride and couldn't get it in. Hodges. Two-line pass.
And a really nice play, Jack.
Sure was.
See, Andy Burnham sort of read where Tim was going to go. He flipped the puck ahead of him, led him by 4 or 5 feet. Tim could have had a good scoring chance there.
Don't forget, next Saturday night, a fan bus being organized to that game in Valley East. You can call Debbie Marshall at 647-3637 or Joanne Major at 647-7548. Don't do that now because I think they're both here. But wait till tomorrow, and you have to let them know by Wednesday. Joel from the point, right on, and the save by Leash. Craig Brown. Trying to center it. Dave Brown behind the net. Fram for Valley East, turning away from Craig Brown, goes behind the net with it. Throws it up to the middle. And as has been the case all night, most of the time the puck's on the Cubs stick. Dave Brown knocked down as he skates in over the line. Four minutes, 29 seconds left in this one, and I think we'll all be glad when it's over. Joyal up to Denemy. Here he goes. He's going to walk right in and scores.
Nice goal by Sean Denemy. The puck certainly come loose around the blue line. He broke in there, put a good deke on the goaltender, runs the score up to 14-1. Very, very nice effort. 4:19 remaining here in the third period. And you know, Jack, shouldn't be too hasty on not calling the ladies about that bus. They may have their cell phones with them.
That's true too, yeah. Try those numbers. What the heck? And Sean Denemy has just scored his 4th goal of the game, by the way.
Yeah, he's certainly been a standout tonight. The whole Cub team has played very well, no question about it. All you have to do is look at the scoreboard, but Sean Denemy has played very well. He's skated as good as I've seen him skate. And I'd like to say also that young Zubik has played very well.
Well, I have to, that reminds me, you have to pick 3 Cub stars, okay? So 3 players from the Cubs, and there's Luke Messier the other way. Oh, they fed it out in front to leg, and he tipped it up over top the net. 3:54 left in the game. 14-1 for the Cubs. Cleared back into the Cubs zone. Carno. Sean Scott comes up with it now and gets it to the line. Krieger cut off there by Carrier, but here's Major. Scores! Whoa, what a blast that was. He can shoot him.
Well, Jack, just reflecting on the comment you made a moment ago about picking 3 stars, I don't think that is fair to pick 3 stars in a game like tonight. It was such a total team effort that I think we have to pick the whole club.
Okay.
I think that's the way we have to.
You're taking the easy way out, are you? I'll be disappointed in you, you know.
Well, he might be, but then again, I suppose he's not even thinking of us.
You're not worried about him, are you? Yeah, it's been a total team effort here. Major scoring last night, too, in that 12-3 win. Here's Crisp back to Valley East. Comes in front of the net. Hodges cranks one, and Willard comes out, cuts down the angle, makes a nice save. And we'll get a face-off up coming in the Cubs zone. Puck frozen behind the net.
Well, again, and I said this earlier, Jack, I'd like to say that Valley East at least stayed with the intent on trying to play the game. They certainly haven't been using any stick work or that type of thing.
No, you're right.
They're playing like just with a lot of pride.
Yeah, they could get chippy, I guess, but they decided not to do that, and that's a credit to them and their coaching staff. Well, there's also another game to play, and they don't want to lose a bunch of players for that game next Saturday, that's for sure. Now, an injured Valley East player, Crisp, took that shot. And we've got a penalty coming up here. I thought he just blocked the shot.
I thought he did too.
Oh, Burnham's checking from behind. Sure, that's what that is.
We'll have to see what the call is. The penalty gate is open. We're down to 2:57. It's a 2-minute penalty up on the board. So it is 15-1. I guess it's a blessing at this point in time that we're this close to the end of the third period.
For sure.
Certainly no enthusiasm from the crowd all night, Jack. That's as quiet as I've heard this building in a long time.
Yeah, well, I think they, like us, they sort of expected this to happen and hoped it wouldn't. It'd be a little closer, but...
I guess we've got the dedicated Cub fans.
You got it, Chap. Been a good crowd here. Been great crowds all year. Last night's crowd was very good. Tonight's not quite as big, but still a good solid crowd here. And this is the best building in the league. There's no doubt. Nobody comes close to this building in this Great North Midget League for fan support. And all the teams that come in here always comment to me about how they enjoy coming in here to play, except for Sault Ste. Marie. They told me they don't like coming in here. They're intimidated when they come in here. Maybe that's good news for the future.
Well, that's right.
Penalty coming up here to Valley East. So after that call against the Cubs,
we've got a little scrum going here now.
I think we're going to get a couple of penalties here.
The penalty to Burnham was checking from behind and again. We have a couple penalty calls here now. Valley East has sent 2 people to the penalty box. And at this point in time, that'll pretty well play out in the third period.
I guess we spoke too soon when we said that to think that they weren't getting chippy, but
well, really, it wasn't all that chippy. They were deserved penalties, but with the score of 15-1, you're going to get a few of those.
That's for sure. So don't forget, next Saturday night from Valley East, I'll have live reports for you. We'll let you know what's happening about midway through each period, at the end of each period, and we'll have a pregame report for you too from Valley East. Jim, so if you can't make it, keep your radio on and be listening, okay? And I'll let you know.
I'll certainly do that, but I'll turn it on Friday morning, and I'm going to get the result of the game anyway.
You just might. There's a greasy-haired character that shows up there every once in a while, likes to make predictions. There's a centering pass, cleared away. Real cream, a little dab. I think he misread that commercial, a little dab. They thought he meant a little slab, and he took the whole tube or something. I don't know.
Well, one thing about it, you got to give the big guy credit. He dishes it out, but he also takes it.
Yeah, you're right, he does, doesn't he? He handles it well. Craig Brown in the the Valley zone. 2 penalties called against Valley there. There's Sean Smith. Oh, and the Valley East defenseman deflected that right in on his own goaltender. That's all he needs.
Well, Valley East are playing with 3 forwards, and the Cubs are playing with 4. Valley East playing the man short. Well, they're actually 2 men short, but they're only 1 man short because Liskeard also has a penalty.
That's right.
1:42 left here in the 3rd period, Jack, and we're getting close to wrapping this thing up. And it hasn't been a very exciting affair, but we've had a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah. Aren't you glad you came here tonight?
I sure am, and I finally get a chance to get a couple shots at the big guy.
Well, yeah, and he's not even in town. Major from the slot. Whoa, and that hit a leg, luckily for the goaltender. And it's cleared out down the ice. But I'm sure he has his spies out there, and they'll tell him what we've said.
Yeah, that grapevine certainly works.
Well, I know on Friday mornings when he's not there, he always comes back and tells me what I said about him, so somebody's listening. He's got a spy. I don't know who would be his friend, though. That's the scary part. Sean Smith. To Joyelle. To Krieger. Krieger lets it go, and that's wide. Major right up there looking for a goal. Side of the net it comes. And here we go.
A little bit of pushing and shoving here. I don't think it's going to amount to a lot. Liskeard certainly can't take any chances on losing players, and I don't think at this point in time Valley East are too interested in having a big mix-up.
We will get penalties, though. And
for sure, and there's nothing wrong with that, because that means fresh troops have to come from the bench. We're down to 58 seconds here left in the 3rd period. 15-1 is the score. The Cubs are enjoying, within a minute of enjoying a 2-0 lead in this best-of-5 series, and for all intents and purposes, they should wrap it up next Saturday night.
Well, I hope so. I wouldn't want to have to stay there on Sunday for a whole day. Saturday night will be bad enough, but all day Sunday.
Right.
Nothing. I got nothing against the Val-Caron, Valley East area, you know, but it just the Tri-Town is a much nicer place. I'm sure you'll agree with me on that.
Oh, no question about it. We're in the best part of the country, right here in the Tri-Town.
So as we wrap this thing up here, the Valley East player over there talking to the referee about a penalty call. Now he's going to check with the linesman.
Yeah, at this point in time, with the score 15-1, Jack, we've got 58 seconds left. Come on, let's get on with it and get this over with.
From the face-off, cleared out and down the ice. Forget back on the ice now as he scoots down there and picks it up. Well, you're generous
tonight.
That's a
shot on goal.
You're generous tonight.
It would have went in without the goal.
Hey, I like it, Jim. You're nice here. Oh, and Forget walked right in, and Zafiris couldn't pick up the rebound and put it in. 2 nice saves, though, there by the goaltender. Give him credit. He stood his ground, and what have we got now? The net coming off, so...
Looks like the net's been dislodged there, and the Cubs certainly racking up the shots on goal as well as the score. And shots on goal. So the Valley East goaltending has been busy.
Yeah, no doubt. And they've changed goaltenders. Norm Denny started. He didn't last too long, though, and Nicholas Leash has gone in there and tried to do the best he could under the circumstances, but it's been a total Cub domination here tonight as it was last night. Probably even more so tonight. 28 seconds left in this hockey game. Thank heaven for small miracles.
Probably happens here for the rest of the game. We're down to 9 seconds here, and I think we're going to play it out.
What are the shots here, Jimmy?
The Cubs have enjoyed 57 shots on goal. Valley East have had 25, but not very many of them were in a dangerous type because they were shots from a distance or rolling line shots that the goaltenders didn't have any trouble with.
So 15-1's our final score. The Cubs take a 2-0 lead in this series, and for you people watching on Cable 12, we'll say thanks for watching, and we'll be back with more playoff action later.
North Bay Trappers are now headed into the semi-final round. They've had 1 game under their belts And they worked on game number 2 today. We'll tell you how that one turned out, and we'll have the rest of the Great North Midget story right after the break. Stay with us.
It's back, Robin's Donuts Cup of Value Sweepstakes, where you have a chance to win one of over 400,000 fabulous prizes. From fresh hot coffee to exotic getaways for 2. The Cup of Value Sweepstakes at Robin's.
Get your cards today. Look for stores displaying this poster. Stores throughout MCTV's extensive coverage area. Bingo cards available at locations from Saskatchewan to Latchford, from Hornpayne to Virginiatown, and points in between. Get your bingo cards today. Then join me, Don Dewsbury, your caller for Hospital TV Bingo, Thursday afternoons from 3 to 3:30, right here on MCTV CBC. You could win up to $5,000.
The competition can't keep up with the snowmobiler's best friend.
Mikey, your Kimpex dealer.
For some of the raddest sleds around, see the many quality used snow machines at Mikey's General Sales and Repair.
And saving on leather suits in stock.
Owning your own snowmobile means winter excitement.
And there's low, low prices.
On all Kimpex snowmobile parts and accessories, plus...
Check it out! Skip plates by Kimpex at Mikey's.
Say, Richster, you got a cold or something?
What a great time to buy new jeans at Workworld. They've expanded their denim department by 50%, making it the largest selection downtown of famous brands for the entire family.
For 1 week and 1 week only, all in-stock tapestries are 40% off at the Art Mart. Create a beautiful work of art for your home from their excellent and varied selection.
Laugh along with us at the 101 Mall on Smile Day, March 1st. Participate in all the fun with contests, clowns, balloons, free parking stamps, and specials. Show us your smile.
Come on, baby, let the 2 times roll. Come on, baby, let the 2 times roll.
Very impossible to shoot it when you don't want to shoot it.
Tuesday night at 9 on MCTV.
Good evening. A crucial weekend of OHL hockey on 2 northern fronts. Let's start in the Sioux Greyhounds camp and a pivotal back-to-back series with Detroit this weekend. Now, the Sioux has been playing catch-up all season with Detroit consistently trailing the Junior Whalers by just a few points for control of the West Division. And the Hounds went into today's tilt in the Motor City behind by 5, but they slipped just a little further today, all tied up at 3 with just a couple of minutes left on the clock when Brian Berard came through for the Whalers. A second straight win for Detroit. That makes it 4-3 the final tally today, and that puts the Sioux 7 points behind. They have some major work ahead of them now if they want to try and catch up with Detroit in the West. For the Sudbury Wolves, a make-or-break meeting with Owen Sound today. The Platers came into this one just 3 points ahead of Sudbury for the final playoff spot in the Central Division, but the Wolves went on a feeding frenzy this afternoon. Sean Venedam came up with the go-ahead goal with only 3 minutes left. The Wolves end up downing the Platers 6-4. That closes the gap in a major way. They are now just 1 point behind for the final playoff spot in the Central Division. No playoff openings for the North Bay Centennials anymore, but the Sens saw action today, too. It was a hometown matinee today with the rock-solid Peterborough Petes at the other end of the ice. MCTV's Dag Sharman has the highlights.
Both the Petes and the Sens tired for this game. They played last night in Peterborough, a game the Petes won 6-1, but this one would be different. A minute and a half into the first, Matt Tkachuk hits Midgley in front. He beats Burke. It's 1-0 North Bay. A few minutes later, Cameron Mann to Corey Crocker. He beats Elliot Faust in the Sens net, and the game is tied. Playing 2 games so close together, some bad blood was sure to develop. Ryan McDonald, Matt LaHaye have a spirited bout in the first period. We move to the second with the game tied 2-2. Sens on the power play, Gallant to McKay. 3-2 North Bay. A little later, another power play for the Sens. This time, Matt Tkachuk to Kostolny. He puts the Sens up 4-2 after 2 periods. But in the third, the Petes storm back. Less than a minute and a half into the third, Cameron Mann, an easy one into an empty net, and the Petes move to within 1. Then with 14 minutes left, Wade Daw ties it for Peterborough. But on a 2-man advantage, Dustin Virag scores his 50th career goal, puts the Sens back in the lead. But there are 8 minutes to go in this game, and only a minute later, Cameron Mann shorthanded. This game heads to overtime. And with 2:20 left in OT, play gets sloppy. The Petes' Jason McMillan the shot. A heartbreaking 6-5 loss for the North Bay Centennials. Dag Sharman, MCTV Sports, North Bay.
On the university scene, a major victory for the Laurentian Hockey Vs this weekend. The Vs dumped Brock 5-2 last night to clinch that quarterfinal series 2 games straight. So Laurentian now goes on to the semis in Kitchener next weekend. The Vs will take on the West Division champion Waterloo Warriors. And in American college hockey, a 2-game tilt this weekend for Lake Superior State and Michigan. After edging past the Wolverines in the first game, the Lakers launched an all-out assault in Game 2, a 7-2 score fest. Good to move the Lakers into a tie with Michigan for second place overall. And now we head to the Great North Midget League. The action has moved into the semi-final round, and after a solid win last night, the Sioux Legion went back at it against the North Bay Trappers this afternoon. A very strong day for a fellow named Frank Kuchar. He bagged 2 goals for the Legion today. Another tight fight, but this one tilted towards the Legion. The Sioux edges out the Trappers 4-3 to take a 2-0 series lead. And also this weekend, the New Liskeard Cubs looking to clinch their semifinal series against Valley East last night. But early on, the Consbeck threatening Scott Holmes parked right in front to tap in the goal. And Valley East is up 2-1 early in the game. But then the Cubs would regroup. Sean Scott comes flying in from nowhere to bury the puck. That ties the game up at 2. And then just a little later, the go-ahead. Sean Denon flips the pass over to Craig Brown, and he pumps it in. Good for the go-ahead goal, and they never really looked back from there. The Cubs clinched the series with a 7-2 victory, so they now look ahead to a semifinal showdown against Sudbury. That one starts March 1st in New Liskeard. In case you missed it last night, the Habs looking...
6-3 after 2 periods. Some nice moves here. The shot is away and into the net. It's good. The 7th goal of the game for the Cubs. 2 goals today for Sean Denemy. Now, Sudbury strikes back, though. The Caps work it around, and the shot from the point, it goes through, but Sudbury just gets the 1 back. It's not going to be enough. New Liskeard takes the win 7-4 to lock up the series 3-1, so it's now a battle with the Sioux Legion for the midget title. That series kicks off next weekend in New Liskeard.
And now to the